Hello guys, welcome to another YouTube tutorial. So in this video we're going to be looking at how to add stock navigation to your React Native project. Unlike a web browser, React Native does not have a built-in API to handle screen navigation. You will have to specify what type of navigation you want to use in your project, which in our case is stock navigation. The StackNavigator provides a way for your application to transition between screens, and it also helps you to manage navigation history. So we're going to be doing exactly what we have here on the screen. So this is about, so this manages our navigation history. We can go back here, and this is contacts. We can go back here as well. So let's dive right into it and see how it works out. Alright, so what we're going to do is to add certain dependencies that will make this stock navigation to work. The first thing I want to do is to add a React navigation to this project. So I'm using yarn, so I'm going to say yarn. I'm going to say yarn add React navigation. Alright, so I'm going to put these dependencies in the description so you can have access to them. So next, I want to add a React navigation stock to this project as well. So I'm going to say yarn add React navigation stock. This is what is going to make the StackNavigator to work. Well, all these dependencies are actually required to make the StackNavigation work, especially if you're going to use whether it's draw navigation or bottom tab navigation. You need to have React navigation, the first dependency that we added, but this second dependency is to make make the requirement for the StackNavigation to make the StackNavigation to work out. So we want to add what we'll do, let's add React Native screens here. So say yarn add React Native screens. Alright, so I'm going to add also yarn add React Native reanimated. Alright, I want to add also the safe area context. So I'm going to say add React Native safe area context. I also want to add a gesture handler for Android devices. So I'm going to say yarn add React Native gesture handler. Alright, so finally I'm going to add a maxed view also for the Android. It's more like an Android dependency to make the start navigation work properly for Android. Usually if you don't add this, especially the gesture handler and the maxed view, you're going to have a warning that you cannot find variable gesture handler or maxed view. So that's why we added this dependency. But left for iOS, I think what we just added here should work properly. So, but for those I want to try this on Android devices, so we're just going to do everything. Let's paste this here. There we go. Alright, so because I'm on Mac, I'm going to see the iOS because I want to run this on iOS device. So I'm going to say port install so I can have these dependencies added successfully to the iOS build project folder. So I'm going to say port install. Alright, so that was successful. So I'm going to get out of this iOS folder because I want to run the application. So we will say React Native run iOS because I want to run on my iOS device, or on Android if you're interested in this working on this tutorial on for Android. So let's go. Yeah, we finally have a project built up. So this is default React Native page rendering. So we're going to make some modifications here. So these are projects. These are the dependencies. This is a packaged JSON file, as you can see. These are the dependencies that we added: Max, view, gesture handler, and the others here. So what we're going to do first, this is an app.js file. We're going to modify this in a bit. But before we do that, let us create a folder here. Let's call this roads. Okay. Let us create another folder. I'm still waiting here. Let us call this screens. Okay. So on the roots, let's have a file here. Let's call this stack. Let's call it stack for the purpose of this tutorial. Choose to call it whatever you want. So here. Alright, so let's have a class stack extends component. So we're gonna have render here. Here let's have React. Let us export this. Export default stock. Okay. So what we want to do is to this is going to be like our navigation setup. So for all the screens that we're going to have, all the pages that we're going to have for this application, we're going to define them here, and then later on we're going to create those screens. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say, let's see, const. Let's call this my stack. Yeah. So I'm going to have them here, create StackNavigator. So create StackNavigator here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back here in a bit. Let's create a screen, at least one screen here. So let's say here, let's have home.js. So I'm going to have just this basic setup, home extends component. So I'm going to have render. I want to have my return. So I'm going to pass a view here. I'm going to just pass a text. Here, let's just write home. So we need to make this component available globally. So we're going to say export default home. Then we need to add some imports. So I'm going to say React here. And also I'm going to say imports view text React Native. Yes, so then it should be good to go. So I'm going to create maybe 2 more screens just for demonstration purposes. So here let's have about the JS, and here let's have contact the JS. So here I'm going to have my class contact extends component. I want to have render here. I want to have return. So here let's export default contact. So let's see if I can just copy this just to save time. Just paste it here. Okay. I think we're good. So I'm going to do the same for this one. Here I want to have, well, I'm not going to copy I'm just planning to copy this, but from my experience, it usually affects appearance, so performance. So I like to write this out myself, and I can copy other things, and that works out for you too. Um, if probably you're copying things and all that, so most times when you copy codes directly, so kind of performance issues you might start having. Also, you must have had that from experience. So you can start copying from render, but usually this copying this class is going to like confuse the program as well. That's what I mean. So we're going to have return here. Let's have view. Let's have text. So let's have about us. So let's export this. Export default. Wow. Okay, so we're good. So now back to this our StackNavigator inside this our roots folder. So we want to have the screens. Well, we've created the screens. So what we're going to do is to just list them out. So here let's have home. This first parameter that we're passing here, it's actually what we use to reference this home component, which you can see this has been automatically installed for me. Okay, so it's what we use to, this home is what we use to access like this component. So let's say for instance which we'll see the example in a bit. Okay, and this we want to go to maybe from about to home. We'll say this props navigation that navigates home here exactly as we've passed it. If this were to be was it now in uppercase, so you're going to pass it the same way you wrote it. So I'm going to make this lowercase. We're going to see this example in a bit. Okay, I'm going to show you. So we're going to have about here. So this will be about screen, which is this one here. So finally, we're going to have our contact, which will be our contact screen here. Okay, so this gets imported as you can see. So what we want to do is to let us set up our initial route here. So if I can do this here, so we're going to have initial route name, just the second one here. So what this means, which screen do you want to be like the starting screen when your application loads? Which screen do you want to appear first? Okay, that's what it means. So what the screen I want to appear first is the home screen. So I'm going to have home here. So finally, one more thing for we test this. So we're going to say const. Let's call this app container. This variable here. So we're going to say create app container. So we're going to create app container, and then within this app container, we're going to wrap this navigation here, the StackNavigator. So we're going to call my stack here. All right. So here finally we can come and just call app container here. Oops, this is supposed to be on a return. So we can call app container here. Okay, so we're good. Okay, so we can save this. So finally, let's come to this app.js file and just modify this. What I'll just do is to just get rid of all this here, and even these imports as well, because I'm not going to need them. Okay, so I'm going to have class app extend component here. I want to have render method. Just have a return. So now what we want to return, we want to return this stack component here. So we need to first import it. So this file here. so that when the application loads, it picks up the stock file and it goes to the stock file and it checks out the initial screen to render, which is home here, and it renders it. So here, let's do that. So what we're going to say, like I said, let's import this first. So let's import stock from, okay, routes, stock. Okay, so let's have this here. Okay, so let's see if we can check this. Okay, so as you can see now, we have this our home here. So all right, so you can see by default we have this. What I was trying to explain to you, this is home. Okay, this is like the title of this page, if which is what is being set here. So let me show you something. Let's say we have home page here. Okay, okay, what if, well, what are, okay, let's see. Then we need to set this to as home page. Okay, I think that's the problem. Okay, so you can see home page. All right, so whatever you're setting here is actually like what you call also when you want to make reference to this particular screen here. So if this were to be in capital letters, for instance, home page, so here we need to pass this in capital letters as well. So home page. All right, so you can see. All right, so that's what I mean. And so we're going to reverse this back. I just want it as home. Okay, so you could have it as anything you want. So let's put this here, home. Okay, so here we're back to this. So let's come to this home screen here. Okay, so just some few. I'm just going to use inline styling for this project. So what? Let us say style is equals. Let's have flex direction. Let's set this to column. Okay, let's have align items. Let's set this to center, and let's have justify content. Let's set this to center as well. Okay, so we have this here. Okay, so if we here, let's have about. Let's have contact. Okay, so let's see, let's give this a flex of 1. Okay, right, so we have it directly at the center. Okay, all right, so what I want to do, well, I might have to use because this is styles here, style shape. Create. Let's call this text style. Let's give it some font size. Maybe 22, just for the sake of this tutorial. Let's call this some style shape. What I'm doing is because I want to avoid some certain form of repetition. What I actually do is to press hold your Alt key and then just click on this to get multiple close-up appearance. So I'm going to say style equals it's called styles text style. Okay, all right, So what we will do is to now okay, set on click. Uh, I want to set on click listener for that's for Android. Well, let's set on press for this one here. Okay, so now we have lobby and home. Let's say, for instance, we want to go to this about screen. So what we can do, we can just call on press here. Maybe I should put this on a separate line for to make it really clear here. So here we can call on press here. Okay, so we can have this. So we'll have these the props, not this now. The props, the navigation. Navigation, is that the spelling? I hope so. The navigate. So we want to navigate to this screen here, which is about. So as you've called it, like I was trying to explain to you earlier, if this were to be in capital letter, then you need to call it here in capital letters, okay, exactly as you've written it here, because this is what gives you direct access to this screen. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to say about here. So we're going to test this. Let's just test this one and see. Let's come here. So let's click on about. So you can see we have here. So now this with Stack Navigation, we can actually go back to the previous screen. We have that particular feature by default. Okay, so we can click here and then we're back to this our home page. So we can click here in about and then we're back to this our about us page. So we can go and style this about us page, the way we want to style it, and as it suits our application. I'm going to just do one more for this. I don't want it to take too long. So we're going to set this to on press here for contacts. So we're going to have these props with navigation and navigate. So we're going to pass them here. So you need to be careful here as well. So it's contact, C is a capital letter. So we're going to say contact here. What I'm going to do, I have this print here. So I'm just going to format this, format document with pretty. Okay, so I have this here. So this my contacts. Let's come here and just go back here and let's click on contacts, and then we have contact us here. Okay, so this is the way you can set up your Stack Navigation for your project. Okay, so I hope this makes a lot of sense. Well, not to shamelessly promote, I did a tutorial on Draw Navigation too. If I want to check that out, I'm going to put the link in the description. So thank you for watching this tutorial. If you like this, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel to get more exciting content like this.